while now I've had a bit of an idea going around in my head about the fact I'd like to do some videos where I do a bit to camera and I've got some stuff going on behind me that relates to what I'm talking about, and to be able to do that I'm going to need a green screen, and I've gone ahead and bought some green material that's supposed to be for a green screen, not just any old material, from Amazon. This cost me £26, so not a big investment, and all I'm going to do is drape it over the top of these curtains here, because it's not going to be a permanent setup, it's just every now and then when I need to use it. I've got no idea if this is going to work, but it's not a big investment just to try something out. So let's see how I get on, and then we can see how you put the green screen together with the video. I'll be using iMovie and I'll just show you that a bit later on, and we'll see if it all comes together in the end. But just bear with me a second while I put the Magic Studio together. Okay, so here's the finished result. I'm not particularly impressed with it. There's a lot of creases in here. It looks a little bit like I've been doing the ironing, and perhaps I should have ironed this before I put it up to get rid of those. Also, I could hold it a little bit more taut if I'd had some bulldog clips. That might have stretched it out a bit, made it a little bit less prone to shadows like it is here. I've got to watch, I suppose, that I don't touch it when I'm talking to the camera. In fact, problem that I've got at the moment, I'm just looking at a camera. I've got no idea whereabouts I am on the screen. Ideally, if I'm doing a green screen backdrop, I want to be sort of to the side somewhere and have the thing going on behind me here. So to accomplish that, I've got a little LCD monitor I picked up, 10.1 inch. This was off Amazon. Forgot what this cost. I'll tell you later on. In fact, I'll overlay it on the screen now, magically. And the good thing about this one is it's got an HDMI in, and of course my camera's got HDMI out, so I'll be able to plug this in, stick it over there somewhere, and then I'll get an idea about where I am. It's the kind of way that a weatherman does his weather forecast, so he knows that he's pointing at Wales and not Edinburgh, you know, that kind of thing. So plug this in, and then after I've done that I'll do a bit to camera and I'll show you how it all fits together, hopefully. Right, so unwittingly I demonstrated the reason why I need this thing very clearly on that last shot, because as you can see here I'm cutting the top of my head a little bit, and you can't see the full thing, looks a bit too close, so I just need to zoom out a little bit. And there we go, we've got the full thing in shot now. So that's why it's useful for me to have this screen. Now, of course, a lot of cameras nowadays have a screen that'll flip all the way back, and you can use that for framing, but mine doesn't have that, which is why I've picked this thing up. But it's a little bit bigger as well, makes it easier to see that things aren't quite in focus from a distance. So I'll just pop this down here, and let me get a stool or something so I can sit here, get myself just in the right position, and do a little section to camera. Okay, so I've got things laid out how I want for this trial. I'm not sure it's going to work though. There's a few issues I can see already. Other than the fact we've got all these creases, there are kind of shadows in the green as well, and the lighting isn't uniform across it. So I'd imagine the different shades of green might have some kind of effect on the end result, but we'll only find that out once I put it all together. Also, if I was talking to you properly on a video, I wouldn't be doing it with the internal mic on the camera. I'd have a lavalier microphone on there. And I've noticed quite a few reflections off my glasses, which is something that's a little bit trickier to try and get rid of. I have pointed the lights away from me a little bit, but that means I'm a little bit perhaps too dark in the scene. But we'll only find out again once we put it all together. Right, so now the bit that I'm talking to you in now is going to be the section where I'm going to overlay something on this green background. Now, because it's all green, I'm going to be in the middle of this footage rather than just having it to one side. I don't know if it would be better if I had a plain background and maybe just a little section of green on it. There's a few things for me to think about, but again, just playing around and we'll see how this works out. Now, I really don't think that was bad for a first attempt. Okay, this is the current version of iMovie. It costs less than £11, runs on OS 10. I've imported the various clips in here that I want to play around with, so that's going to be the background, and then this is going to be the foreground. Now, I would have thought that that would go in first, but in fact I'm putting the background in first, and then putting the green screen section in second. So all I have to do with this is select the part of the video that I'm interested in, that I want to overlay on top of that other footage. So I've got that now, drag it and put it next to the other one over the top here. That's where it's going to appear, but at the moment It's just a cutaway, so it just goes from the green screen to the other video. So I want to change it from a cutaway to a green screen effect. This drop down box does that there. As you can see now, we can see both clips on screen at the same time playing one behind the other. Now if you look at it carefully, top left, you'll notice that I can see some sort of pastiness there. In fact, I can see the green screen and the creases on it. So if I get this little eraser tool here, click up there, it changes the way it reacts to that part of the screen. As you can see now, it's quite a lot better. You don't see that part as obviously as you did before when you play the video and the background together. Looks okay. A few little creases still at the top left there, which I could have really have done with ironing out of that sheet. So as a quick fix for the moment, just going to crop that section down a little bit to hide that. And that is the video clip that you saw when you were watching it just a minute ago. Now you can do a few things, adjust the level of opaqueness of the background so that it kind of blends in differently, and then you can use that picker tool on various parts of the image and you can really make a bit of a mess of it. Of course you can undo these things, but also you can do some really pretty creepy effects like this one, which I suppose could come in useful at some time or another. Okay, so what have I learned today? Well, the first thing is that green screen effects in iMovie are pretty easy to put together, and it gives you quite a few tools to fix some of your mistakes as well. And the mistakes I made were not steaming out the creases in my green screen, which is something I've done since. I've tried to tension it a bit better as well, although it's not perfect. You can still see some ripples in it, and I've put some better lighting on it. Hopefully that's made it a more uniform green, so that when I overlay video on it now, it looks a lot better than it did before. So that's another tool in my arsenal. I've still got a little bit more fiddling with it to get it just how I want, but it means that in the future, when I plan on doing one of my videos where I need to overlay some video in the background, I'm now able to do it a lot easier. Anyway, that's it for the moment. As always, thanks for watching.